As a little girl, my dad and I would go fishing out on the Missouri at least once a week. And for younger me, this was basically torture. Instead of getting to stay home and play with my Barbies, I was forced to be in the middle of the dark, deep water with all sorts of slippery, slimy things coming inside of the boat. But as I got older, I started to understand my dad's seemingly obsession with these slippery and slimy things. I mean, nothing beats an epic battle with a 24-inch walleye that just won't give up. But my experience here is not unique. In South Dakota, water remains to be one of the most important aspects to our way of life. From our culture and our marked distinction between East and West River, into the thousands of livelihoods that are built upon it, because of this, it's clear. Rivers and streams benefit South Dakota. But before we can discuss the many diverse benefits that rivers and streams bring us as South Dakotans, we first have to discuss the mechanisms in place to protect them. These are wide-ranging and found all across our state. The ones that affect us most, though, are from the game fish and parks. From stopping overfishing, length requirements, and overall licensing regulations, they can ensure that not only the water, but also the species inside of it remain healthy and well-populated. But these protection mechanisms are not just found within the water. The South Dakota legislature passed legislation to ensure that there were nutrient runoff strips created between crops and the water. What this does is stops fertilizer used on the crops from entering rivers and streams. These are extremely important because when fertilizers enter our water, dead zones are created that harm not only the water inside of it, but also the many diverse species that can no longer take up nutrients because plants are harboring all of the oxygen and other necessary nutrients. But now that we have discussed the protection mechanisms in place that ensure that these benefits are long-lasting, we can now see truly how rivers and streams benefit South Dakota. And the way that they do so are many and diverse. From the Oahe Dam, built near Pierre, South Dakota on the Missouri River. According to the Associated Press, the Oahe Dam generates 4.2 billion kilowatt hours of hydropower last year. But this is extremely important because not only is hydropower a relatively cheap source of power, but it also goes immediately to the grid. This means that at a time of power outage, our hydropower insured by our rivers and streams comes to save the day. But the Oahe Dam and the many diverse dams that create hydropower, looking towards water supplies for many populations across South Dakota, aren't the only benefit. In South Dakota, agriculture is our largest industry base. It adds roughly $32 billion to our economy each year. However, with our volatile South Dakota weather, as seen by our snow in April, we can see that this isn't always the safest bet for farmers. But thanks to our rivers and streams, irrigation support can be set up to ensure that crops have water and a safe supply of it all growing season long. The Campbell Scientific explains that this is extremely important within western South Dakota. In western South Dakota, there's vast tablelands. But without supportive irrigation support to maintain a steady control of water, the agricultural potential of these lands is wasted. Because of this, it's extremely clear that rivers and streams benefit South Dakota. When agriculture makes up our largest industry base, and rivers and streams allow us to protect it, this benefit is one of the largest that rivers and streams can precede. So today, after we discuss the protection mechanisms in place, from places like the game fish and parks, but also our South Dakota legislature, we can truly dig deep and understand why rivers and streams benefit us as South Dakotans. Now that I've grown up a little bit, I'll go fishing with my dad, rain or shine, July or January. Just as long as we bring a heater for the ice shack, of course, and he takes the fish off of my pole. Thanks to the protection mechanisms in place, the benefits of rivers and streams within South Dakota are here to stay. And this means that many generations down the line get to experience the joys of fishing with their dad. Thank you.